But today, I'm getting ahead of myself. So, welcome back to Baby Girl's World. This is my channel, Baby Girl. Okay? We are a chill place to talk shit about locals. No, what we do, we talk about locals. Maybe, a little bit of spooky content for October. What do you say? And my members, of course, you're going to be getting, I believe, next week. But the following week, though, just before Halloween, you will get my haunted house vlog. But it's just for members to see. $1.99 gets you everything. $1.99 a month. You know what I'm saying? And then Christmas, like I say always, we're doing Vlogmas members only, where we do something Christmassy every day of December, which is so exciting. You know what I'm saying? I have really good videos right now in the works. Okay. But, let's get to it this one, shall we? This is my Baby Girl's top 10 spooky TikToks. That's my ghost. My ghost is going to sing tunes to people. If you hear humming, it's Baby Girl. Our spooky member of this video is Jessica. Welcome, Jessica, to Baby Girl's lovely bitch. You are a lovely bitch. She's a member of the spooky video. Yeah, bitch. And then we've got our 5 featured subscribers. Oh, we have Aspen Maestas. We have Monica Derry. We have Shani and Barton. We have April Warrock. We have Carrie Mason. Ooh, spooky names, bitch. Anyways, enough time being silly. Let's get to the spooky shit, right? Do you guys believe in ghouls and ghosts, warlocks and shapeshifters? All of that. Do you believe in that? Well, darling, you're about to. It's just about a glitch in the Matrix, okay? Maybe, I don't know, I thought it said 10K. I was like, what does that mean? I'm stupid. So, what would you guys do in this situation? Is what I want to know. It's like, no wonder they all look so confused. And they're all like, what? Maybe they smoked one. I don't know.
This video is believed to be the scariest video on the internet right now. I'm gonna play the video for you and then I'll give you some context. Nothing seems out of the ordinary, right? Wrong. All 3 of these girls are in the car, they're eating together, and they're waiting to meet up with another friend. The 2 girls in the front seat are texting the other friend. The other friend who is not in the car is telling them that she's about to meet up with them, but she's bringing the girl who's in the back seat. They're going back and forth with their other friend who's not in the car about how they have the girl who's in the back seat with them, but the friend who isn't there says she's with her. So now everybody's freaked out because who the heck is the girl in the back seat? The girl who's not in the car is wondering who she's with. Is this something ghostly, something paranormal, a glitch in the Matrix? We don't know. And I don't think we're ever going to get the answer.
And it's about a very old home that a church is about to have demolished. Apparently, it was a part of their church or something, or was left to them or whatever. They'll tell the story in the TikTok. I don't remember. But, no, one thing about ghosts is if they're inhabiting a home and they've been there since their passing or whatever, or even evil spirits will do this too. Whereas if you are trying to do any kind of remodeling, or like they're going to do especially a demolition, ghosts are going to come out and they're going to do stuff to try to prevent this from happening. Now, they're going to start very subtle and like they did, and then it gets worse and worse and worse and worse to the point where you don't even want to step foot in the house. Just watch The Conjuring, for God's sake. But yeah, watch this TikTok. It is pretty freaking weird.
Hey, so I have got a story to tell you guys. I have been sitting on for a little bit now, and it's pretty wild. So as some of you may know, my husband has a demolition business and has been in business now for about 20 years. And in that line of work, it's pretty interesting. We come across some really neat things sometimes gross, sometimes wild. But, we often get some old antique pieces that we are able to salvage. Maybe there's some scrap treasure we get. Maybe it's just something that is, neat and out of the ordinary. And we've even gone into a place and did a demolition that was very haunted. And we experienced that. So we have had, our fair share of some, really neat experiences in this line of work. This is a first. We have never had something like this. So about a month and a half ago, Robert was telling me about this job that he has under contract with a church. And it's this big house, right? And he sends me this beautiful picture as he just took it because he's getting ready for this meeting with the church about the upcoming demo. Not abnormal at all. They normally have these meetings, talk about the scope of work, what they expect, et cetera, et cetera. Nothing out of the ordinary. So he sends me this picture, as you see here, and it's a beautiful picture. Hard to believe they're even tearing it down, at least at that moment. And I immediately get excited, start to make mental inventory of the things that I want to take out of the home, primarily the windows, because I am wanting to build a greenhouse with repurposed windows. And of course, a house from 1851, those are amazing windows, right? So later on that day, Robert gets in touch with me to tell me how just shocking this meeting was, how he had never experienced anything like this. Well, apparently, while he was at that meeting with the church, the whole purpose of the meeting was to discuss their concern around the demolition and the potential of it releasing evil entities or spirits once the walls have come down. Apparently, this building has been exorcised twice. I don't know the dates of when. That information is kind of kept under lock and key, but twice. And from the sounds of it, it doesn't sound like it was very successful. I'm like, we're blown away, right? So when he gets home, of course, this conversation is going much further, and I'm asking a lot more questions. And so he ends up telling me, we're discussing the meeting, I zoom into the picture of the house that he took. Oh my gosh, look at the window, right? I mean, it's undeniable. What's crazy about this picture is the fact that he took two back to back, standing same spot, took two back to back. One picture has it, one picture doesn't. Wild. So I, of course, now am really intrigued by this place. Of course, I've second guessed whether or not I want any windows because I'm not sure I want to take anything from this place home, especially if there's genuinely this level of concern from the church, so much so that we're going to have a meeting over it. But Robert ends up disclosing to me that during this meeting, not only were they discussing, the concerns about the church being, the building being releasing anything, but they also mentioned the fact that they want the demo done on October 20th, not by October 20th. On October 20th. And he mentioned something about a moon, which I thought was strange because churches don't typically tie in moon cycles and things like that. So I was really intrigued by that, and I started to dig in a little bit. Come to find out, October 20th is a waning crescent moon. And if you know anything or look at some of the historical spiritual traditions, the waning crescent moon is often tied to like a spiritual cleansing, new beginnings, cleaning out. So you can't tell me that was completely unintentional. So I decided to look a little bit more into this building and to see if I could find any sort of history that might support what's going on with this place. And come to find out, it was built in 1851. And the owner who built it, unfortunately, his son, at 2 years old in 1854, died by falling off of this balcony. So stricken by grief, the rumor has it, this hasn't been confirmed, but it was stricken by grief, the rumor has it that the father shortly thereafter ended up hanging himself from the staircase in the home. The young boy's grave is still on the premises, and it is reported that the father's is somewhere there too. So there is a history that actually supports kind of the strange supernatural things that are going on in here. But this is wild. We have never had a job under contract where they are warning us about the spiritual nature and even the evil nature of it ahead of time. So I did tell Robert that, as beautiful as the home is, and as much as I would love to have some of those things, I will absolutely decline taking anything from that place. But I can't help but to be curious. Would you go in?
It's just a picture, right? And I was going to explain it from my email. That's where we was at. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, son of a bitch. Just a picture. And then you see it in the background close up. Like, I can remember the picture, so actually I'm just not even going to worry about it. But anyways, you see the front picture, and if you look directly behind on the right, well, yeah, if you're looking at the picture, you know, you're going to see it on the right in the background, like a figure. What do you think that is? Ooh. Sometimes us mediums, we have things start very young for us as children. You know what I mean? And I've always spoken to them. My mom said I used to weird her out because I used to say, I'd be talking to someone and she'd be like, who are you talking to? And I'd tell her, but she'd ask, well, who are they? And I'd be like, oh, so-and-so. They told me they're not alive anymore, or whatever I would say. And totally freaked her out. You know what I'm saying? Hang on a second. I really freaking bounced my room around here. I had to move my other chair out because of my back problem till I feel better. Whatever. Anyways, but yeah, just watch because children will know. Animals and children are perfect for, you know, finding out if you have some kind of ghostly activity going on.
There is a ghost in this picture of me when I was a little girl. Honestly, there's already been a handful of spirits that have been captured of me growing up and everything, but I just noticed this one and it looks creepy. It looks like there's a spirit of the man just looking right at me. I have to show you so you can let me know what you think. Okay, first let's take a look at the photo. So here I am at my friend's birthday party. I am right here. Go ahead and take a look at this photo and look at the year. It says 1998. Isn't that wild? I feel so old. All right, now let's zoom in next to me. Okay, so I'm actually freaking out a little bit because sometimes I can't see it. I will look at this picture and be like, okay, I really don't think I see anything, but I really do. You cannot tell me that that is not an eye. That is a legit eye. It looks like a man. It looks like this kind of like he's facing towards the side of me. There is a legit eye here with an eyebrow and hair. Are you kidding me? I have always said there is a spirit of a man attached to me, but kind of getting proof like this, like what? Like no one can tell me that that's not an eye. Like that is someone's face right here, and it's not a kid's face. It is like a man's face. Please let me know what you think in the comments because this is crazy.
There's times like this when they are just being nonsense like to everybody. You know what I mean? They don't care if you're medium or not. And her daughter had to go and sleep with her mom in her mom's room. And then all of a sudden, the mother captures this.
My daughter's sleeping with me in my bed tonight. She kept saying that she was really scared of something in her room. I'm a little bit shaky. I don't know if you guys can tell, but so this is the same toy that used to go off in the past. And it's always terrified me since. So I would ask it questions and it would answer with noises. With noises.
It's late at night when a mother quickly grabs her phone to record this video. She lays in bed across from her daughter, who just told her a few hours ago that she was scared of sleeping in her room. According to the mother who sent me this, she was terribly shaken up by the events of that night. Something in her home had felt completely off, and she needed to record this. While taking this video, she captures this.
Really awesome. And how can you say that there's no ghosts after seeing this? Because Chris Watts' house, where he lived with his wife and kids, who he unalived, right? The police go into this house and their body cams capture what we think they should, you know? But tell me what your thoughts are on this video. Tell me if you think they're real after seeing body cam footage, assholes. I'm telling you.
Whenever somebody tells me that they don't believe in the paranormal, the first thing I'll usually ask them is what they think about the footage from inside the Watts family home right after Chris Watts murdered his wife and his children. Because I've seen a lot of paranormal footage that can easily be debunked, but I have never seen anybody be able to debunk these. And before I show you these, at first I thought that it wasn't fair that Chris Watts got life in prison rather than the death penalty. But after I found out that he is being haunted by his wife and his children that he murdered, 100%. That is absolutely the punishment that he deserved. Last year, he even came out and said that he's been seeing the spirits of his dead children in his cell. He is absolutely being haunted, and I love that for him.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. What in the world was that? Wow. Go in there and step on that little blue thing and see if that's where that...
Yeah, it sounded like a kid toy.
It sort of sounds like it.
Something. I heard it.
Did you hear it?
I did.
Does she work? Yeah, she works from home. Oh, from home? She works Business and Lifeline. Yeah, I think I'm back. I'm going to start blowing up. Oh, yeah. It was shut down? Yeah. 131, 80, 19.
Sometimes the paranormal hits people in a very weird way. This poor woman is new at her job with some lady that doesn't want to train her. And I guess maybe I understand why. But at the same time, why would you do that to somebody new? Are you just trying to see if they can handle it or what? I just watched this video because I don't even want to tell you. I just want you to see it. It's just... Let
me tell you about this haunted hospital I worked at where I had to push this body down to the morgue and these spirits was jumping all on top of the body bag and pushing the body cart all up and down the hallway. So this is my first hospital job. I'm super new. I had never done anything in a hospital before. I was only doing like nursing homes and home health care, right? So I turn around and I'm training with this woman. You can tell she hated her life. She being rude. She didn't want to train me. She had me doing everything by myself, even though she was supposed to be training me. And so then, unfortunately, this patient passes away. And she tells me like, you got to toe tag them. You got to do X, Y, and Z. So she's telling me what to do, but she's like not really wanting to help me. She'll just keep leaving out the room. So I'm doing everything by myself. And I finally toe tag her, and it's time for us to like go ahead and put her in the bag. So she comes in, she helps me put her in the bag, and then she looked at me and she's like, you got to take her down to the morgue by yourself. I said, aren't you supposed to come with me? Like, I don't even know where the morgue is. She was like, no, I had to do it myself the first time. Okay. So I went ahead and I was like, cool, I'll just go by myself then. So fast forward, I pulled the body onto the elevator, and I'm already freaked out. I'm in the elevator with a dead body, and the first thing that's on my mind is, what if this elevator stops and I get trapped in this elevator with a dead body? Anyway. So fast forward, I'm in the basement and I'm pretty much waiting for security. She told me that security was going to meet me there. Now, mind you, I don't know where I'm going. So I'm going up and down the hall, pushing this body up and down the hall, trying to find this morgue. And so it's a fairly large hospital, right? And when you don't know where you're going, you be confused. So I finally like saw this area, and I'm just like, okay, that looked like it would be something like a morgue. I don't know. So I walked up to the door, and in small printing, it said morgue, right? So I'm like, okay, this is it. I pushed the body up against the wall. And when I pushed the body up against the wall, I'm just standing there. I'm waiting for security. I hear the elevator ding, and I heard the doors open, and I was like, okay, finally they're here. Nobody got off the elevator. So then I heard walking from the opposite direction, and I was like, oh, okay. So I'm just waiting. Nobody ever comes. I'm down there waiting. Like, I had pushed the body up against the wall and everything, waiting for about 15-20 minutes. So finally I was like, okay, let me call up there. So I called the unit, and when I called the unit, the girl who's training me answered the phone, and she's like, oh, sometimes it just takes them a while. It's okay, you can go ahead and just wait there. And so I'm just like, okay. So then I wait down there longer, and the longer I wait, I just feel anxious. And I'm like, I do not like being down here. Like, I'm literally in the basement. It feels like by myself. I don't see any other workers. This shit is weird. So I hear talking, and I'm like, okay, let me walk to where they are, like whoever was talking, so I can tell them like, hey, do you mind getting security for me so they can hurry up and get down here? Because I don't want to leave the body, right? So I get to that area where I heard the talking, and there's nobody there. So immediately I know what that is. And I immediately don't want to be down there. I already didn't want to come. So I get annoyed because I've been waiting for a long time now. And so finally, I'm like, I'm just going to search spree to try to find somebody myself. So I finally like walk down this other hallway. And as I'm walking down the other hallway, I hear commotion coming from where I left the body. And so I turned around. I'm like, maybe the security people came from the opposite direction. Maybe that's them. So when I go back around the corner, I noticed that from afar, I can see there's something on the floor. And as I'm walking closer, I can see that it's the belongings bag that belongs to the deceased. I had it on top of the body bag. And so I'm like, okay, it could have just fallen. I don't know. And so as I'm getting closer, I see that there's somebody behind the cart, like holding onto the handles behind the cart. And I was like, getting scared. So finally I was just like, okay. So as I get closer, the person that was squatting behind the cart stood up, and it's a spirit pushing the body cart towards me. And then it's a couple more spirits sitting on top of the body bag. Y'all, I never ran to an elevator so fast. I ran to the elevator, and I called the unit again, and I told the girl, I said, hey, I'm gonna need you to come down to the thing with me. The security didn't even show. She said, just come on back up here. So I went back upstairs, and when I got back up there, she had an attitude. We called security again. Security gets down there, but this time they tell me that I had the body pushed all the way over by janitorial. Y'all know I did not. No, I did not. I did not have that body pushed down there by janitorial. So security's like, yeah, I just don't send no more new people down here if they just gonna be leaving bodies just anywhere. Anybody could walk down here. Well, maybe y'all should have been where y'all said y'all was gonna be.
Chris's grandma actually did this, and I believe it to be true because it's so weird. Chris's grandma ended up passing away, unfortunately, and we had moved down to Mississippi to help out, right? And one day, his dad was hanging out with us, and he literally got a phone call from grandma's house number, which wasn't supposed to be in use anymore. And when he answered, it was all static on the phone. So I definitely do believe that to be true. I really do.
That I got. Okay, so after I posted the creepy voicemail that I got, I don't hear I love you. I don't hear anything positive in that. But after I posted that, my friend was like, send that to me so I could listen to it with like headphones on and turn it up and see what I can to clear it up. And I did. And then he responded, he's like, what is this? And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, I can't hear anything. And I'm like, I literally just sent the voicemail. Like, I texted the voicemail, So he sends it back to me, right? And this is what I get back. So I sent it to my mom. And I'm able to take her phone and listen to it. This is what... No one I have sent it to has gotten it. But... Okay.
Animals know, like I said to you, I told you that. If your pet starts being weird, barking at the wall, barking at nothing, that might mean you have a ghost friend in your home. I'm not saying that you should make friends with it. I'm just saying that's what's there.
This is the footage shot by a fellow YouTuber. It starts out with the man trying to catch footage of his pet's strange behavior. For the good first half of the video, he tries to get his dog to come out from under the bed, then hears a knock from up in the attic and decides to check it out.
Hey, what's the matter, girl? Come here. What's the matter? You okay? Come here. Come on. You okay? Here. What is it? What is it, girl? What is that? The hell? Jesus Christ.
Before. They know. My son was having asthma one night when we lived in Mississippi, right? Because Chris had made pancakes and he burnt one because we was talking. Anyway, it got real smoky in the house and my son's asthma was real bad. So I'm like, because it was a trailer, you know. I said, step out on the porch for just a second. Well, my dumbass forgot his inhaler. So I said, baby, I'm going to run in real quick. I'm going to grab your inhaler. I'll be right back. I shouldn't have left him out there because all of a sudden he come running in the house, screaming at the top of his lungs. I said, what's wrong? What's going on? Thought he got bit by a snake. Something bad happened. No. He said a woman was humming in his ear. I was like, what? Oh my God. And what's crazy about that is Chris's mother was just at that trailer getting it ready and prepared for us before we got there. And she called and she's like, I don't want you to get alarmed. I don't want you to tell the kids or anything. But the other evening when we were leaving the trailer, she's like, I heard a woman humming. And I was like, oh, you know, so we didn't tell the kids. We didn't say anything. And then that happened to my son. I'm not even lying to you. Pinky swear.
Paranormal story time back to when my son saw a demon on the ceiling. So as many have requested, and since I lost my other page, I'm going to do some of my paranormal story times up on my page, at least in honor of spooky season. And if we want them to continue, we can, but if we just want them to remain spooky season, that's fine. But we are going to flash back to about 2014 when my son was almost 3 years old, and it was just a couple days after my dad had passed away. So we were just sitting in the living room, still kind of traumatized from the traumatic event that had taken place and losing my dad so quickly and unexpectedly. And as my mother and I were just sitting there, kind of like looking at each other, looking at the wall, just kind of sitting in silence, kind of reflecting on what all was going on, my son was sitting beside me playing with his little Hot Wheels cars on the couch. So I noticed while he was playing with his cars that he kept looking up at the ceiling, and eventually I began to ask him, like, what's wrong? What's the matter? And he would shush me. So there was numerous times I asked him, I was like, what is it? What's wrong? And he would just be like, shh. You know, and then eventually when I asked him, he's like, shh, don't talk, it'll hear you. And that's when it kind of freaked me out, and this is coming from a 3-year-old, so it kind of like amplified the situation a little bit. And I noticed that he's more attentively watching whatever this is on the ceiling, kind of as if it's making more movement. So as he continues to watch this, and I asked this last time, he says, there's a demon on the ceiling, and my heart sank. I was trying to comfort him and don't know, my mind is just going like into a million different places, because how's a 3-year-old supposed to even know what a demon is, or the word demon, or anything of that nature? It was just a creepy situation all in itself, until he's watching whatever this is, kind of like with a terrified look on his face, and he's kind of moving his eyes to the right, because now he's like turned around, like looking up and watching this kind of like above him, and his eyes are going to the right. And that's when all of a sudden he turns his head to the left, and he says, "It's okay now, Mommy." And there's like this sense of calm just comes over his face. And he's like, "Michael's here to protect us. He's covered in a blue light, and he has a big knife." So that kind of creeped us out. The only thing we could think of maybe that he was referring to was Michael the Archangel, which is crazy, again, because how would a 3-year-old know of anything to do with any of these things? But he's like, "Yeah, it's okay now, Mommy." And he proceeds to kind of like walk to his right, and it was like over towards our fireplace. And as he was walking there, his mouth just drops. And that's when he calls out my dad by his first name, which, keep in mind, as a 3-year-old, he didn't call my dad by his first name. He had always referred to him as Papa. And after this, he just began asking us why Papa, or my dad by his first name is what he's referring him to, was going through the walls, and why he was wearing different clothes. So this was the beginning to a lot of extended craziness. So if you like these paranormal story times and want to hear them in more detail and want me to bring those back, and maybe even have one every night for at least spooky season or indefinitely, whatever, just let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and if you enjoy them, just follow and like, and let me know in the comments what you want to see next.
That's the end of today's spooky-tacular video. Be expecting more of these. They will be coming out like crazy. Become a member so you can see me go haunted house live. Or not live, but in a video just for members. And hit that like button. Please subscribe to the channel, because you vibed with your girl all of this way. You might as well. You know what I'm saying? I love you.